My friend, today I'm going to do some music that's just some of my original stuff rather than just playing a couple tunes and showing everybody all the doodles that I do and songs I've written. What I'm going to do is go back on some charts that I wrote some tunes to children's ukulele book at the end of this. So, long story short, these are all just ideas for Mondays for me to lay back right before I have to begin, or get to begin, teaching here in Hilo, Hawaii. Other than that, on Tuesdays we do live Q&As, so if you got nothing going on around the same time, 9 to 10 Hawaiian Standard Time, or check out the other ones that are on this channel. Talks about music theory, kind of concepts that help us to get from one point to another. And if somebody does jump on here, can you tell me if the volume is sufficient or not? Next month, we're going to start up our interview series again and interview a vast amount of people who are going to talk about their experiences in the music business. So, what we have today is our piano over here. I would like to just go over to the computer and mimic this so you can see the song we're going to be working on today and have fun with this. Check it out! All right. So that has some wings. When I say wings, I mean it can take flight. There's only a couple things in there as far as the timing I probably wouldn't do. This simple program that I'm using is called iReal Pro. It allows me to just write a lot of songs. I know the format of it, so I busted it out. And then if I ever need to print a chart, I can just put this over to PDF form to go boom, right to any individual I'm playing with. Okay, so that first measure was right here. How are we doing here? It's going to be in the key of F major. So that first measure we have, we're going to have 4/4 because there are 4 beats per measure. That quarter note's getting the beat, but I could see myself doing like some 8th note trills in there just for a little pizzazz. The intro is going to be the first part, intro. And as you can see from the chart there, we're going to write it in as having equal parts. So F is going to be my first chord in the key of F major. We've got a F, G, A, B flat, C, D, and E. If I remember correctly, there's only really 1 or 2 chords outside the pocket of the diatonic chords, meaning any of those 7. I'm going to write out the first measure here, F to E flat, so it's doing an immediate jump from a chord that's not in the diatonic right there. So the F is the 1, and then going to the, not the minor 7th, I'm sorry, not the major 7th, which is a diminished, but the minor 7th. So as a leading tone, it's just a single tone. It should be that T-do, which gives a lot of the influence. I think that's what one of these chords uses later, because I definitely heard a chord that was outside the pocket, like, I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna go through this, throw our second measure there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2. We're going to the 4 chord right here, and then we're gonna be going to the 5 chord. So essentially, we've got a 1, we've got a 7, and then we've got a 4, and then a 5. Now that is going to be repeated twice. So rather than me write that out, I'm just gonna put a repeat thing here and close my bar. Boom. So now I know I do it twice. The next thing we're going to be doing is going through the parts that have just the A part, and I'm going to put it down just a little bit, mark it as being the A for the A form, so it'll be like the verse. Now let's see if we can move this up a little closer so everybody's not struggling to see this. Pardon me. That silly light that was right in the way, isn't it? Struggle. Part of life. And then this next part is going to be the same thing, 4/4, so I'm not going to repeat the symbol. I can if I want to, but it's the beginning of a new measure, so I'm going to be putting my double bars. It happens to be the exact same thing as the intro, so I'm just going to copy this, and just for the fact that we know what these are now in position of the scale, I'm not going to rewrite those either, although I'm going to leave this last bar open because this one keeps going. Now the verse itself is going to do this again, go to the F, has another bar for the E flat, and then it's going to go to the minor second. So when we play that minor second, G minor, boomzo. That's going to change the tonality of this, and then that last measure is going to have an F sus, and then it's going to do a resolution to a C. Pretty interesting. So these two share that measure. So we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4. Generally, when you have a sus chord like a 4, you would resolve to the 1, the same chord. This is resolving to the 5, the dominant, so it's obviously going to build a little tension there. And then after that, we have a D minor. Hear me. This makes a little bit more sense. D minor is the relative minor of F, so that feels like it might feel good. And then what are we doing here? C7, so this is going to feel like an E diminished because the 5 dominant, which is written like this, will always kind of really feel like that one. Why? They combine triads. When I take a triad like this for that C, E, and then G, that's a C major, right? Well, when I take the diminished, we have an E, G, and a B flat. Those triads fit over the top and they share notes. Therefore, that's a lot of the time what I'm looking for when I'm doing part writing. Those are the notes that I'm kind of looking for to build that tension. All right, then after the C7 to the E diminished, we're going to have an F, and then we're going to finish it out with another measure, the F. And I do believe that whole thing gets repeated. So I'm going to put a bar right here, put my repeats right here, and that's where it goes. Awesome. Well, let's kind of take a look at what that looks like here, just with the ukulele one at. So if I've got the chord of an F major to an E flat major to a B flat to a C. That's fun for the fingers. I like doing those little hammer-ons with the D. In a major, we call them susses. In a minor, we call them 9 chords. After doing the intro twice, it goes to that same feeling of F major to an E flat major to a B flat major to a C. The next time, we change the tonality, and then we go to a G minor. Also, that's rather easy for the fingies right there, which is quite nice. And then the F sus, when we hold this down, we're just going to play the B flat over the top. And then relieve it to a C. Now that kind of feels like we could play a G minor 7 there in lieu of the F sus, or we can play a B flat major. But we've already got one resounding there. I think I'd like to get that open feeling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of that F sus and essentially name it a G minor 7, because we do have a 2 chord already in here. What that would feel like and look like would be this. Whoop, 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 whoop. Yeah, I like that. Much more than I like playing the lower note. F F major 7 would be a little bit too happy or cheery for this, although could jump back in and see later. And then lastly, after we do that movement, it goes down to the D minor. Wonderful. Wonderful. Maybe do a movement like a I don't know, something fun. Ending that phrasing, and then it jumps right back up to the top to do another verse. Now, in haste, I did write down a couple lyrics that I thought would be fun. Now, aforementioned, I'd like to make these songs a little bit simpler. Don't go overwhelmingly into music theory and changing chords all the time, like adding G minor 7s. But what I found with a lot of the ukulele books out there is they cover the basics, but they don't add an extra little bitty pizzazz, like being able to explain that a C major in this book is great. However, when we play that as a C major as a bar chord, we can then use them as staccato notes in rhythm style. And a lot of these books that are just simplistic in nature, just to get you being able to play the ook, they don't go above and beyond. And what I would like to really do is put something in there which would have somebody look at a D major and then question what a D major is when you add the fourth note, and then relieve it. If you could do that in every key, well, then that starts tending to be something that we look forward to as far as being able to construct chords and then change them around, as you just saw. The F sus sounds a whole heck of a lot like the G minor 7, except one has definitely a more of a minor tonality to it. So this one I had, no matter how tempting it may be, when you tell a little fib, the others have to believe. It's more likely you will see when you tell a little fib, it grows and grows and grows and grows. Oh, how it grows, oh, how it grows. Oh, that's how it grows, I know. So the idea is unicorns aren't real. And if you're watching this and I just bursted your bubble and you just found out that unicorns are not real, I apologize. However, in this kind of fashion, there are many, many things in this world that just aren't real. I chose unicorns as the word to sell to children, that sometimes you have to be a little bit optimistic about everything you learn. The idea is like a unicorn peeking out of your closet or a creature that's under your bed. All these things are a little creepy inside of only your head, which means there are a lot of words there that need to be gotten rid of. So I would probably wean that down, like a unicorn peeking out of your closet or a creature that's under your bed. It would probably be weaned down to unicorns in the closet. Creatures under your bed. The idea of writing full sentences, it gets a little wordy and it's hard to actually use that rhythmic flow, which means you need to put more notes for part writing, which when trying to write a children's book or writing something along the lines of learning and doing different melody lines while going, they should be a little bit simpler in nature, I believe, in the beginning, so the melody lines are easier to follow. So in that regard, this seems like a pretty cool thing to take a little melody to. All right, let's walk over to the piano, see if we can figure out a melody that corresponds with this. And have a little fun. And remember, if you're watching this and you have any questions about what the heck's going on here, just reach out, say a little something here, and I will jump on and answer any questions you have about what we're doing. And this is in the key of F, and we have F goes to a flat major, E flat to a C, piano, I'll play just the different inversions of the F. I'll feel, how the fingers feel on just the root position. I'll generally cut out the fifth if I'm going to cut out anything. The ear naturally wants to hear the fifth, I guess. Hear a D there, but it should be B flat. trill there, so maybe just a little added inflection of the sus on the C. No matter how tempting it may be, a little too high by step. I'm only writing for one melody line right now, not writing for two-part for harmony, so I'm going to try to avoid playing in tertiary mode. Nope, B flat in the key of F. B flat major or G minor using minor. The G minor. That could be part of the melody, but I don't have to play those chords in the progression, in the cadence. I could just put that into there. It should have that 1 and 2 and feel to it. Make it more like a barnyard stomp. Boom, boom, boom. Soulful. Maybe this one should float back into B flat and use that relative that harmonic minor. Either way, the fun melody that can be derived out of this should kind of have a little substance inside the key that we're already writing. So maybe I should write the melody after hearing those notes. Here. What words? No matter how tempting. 1, 2, 3, 4. I like the melody how it kind of stays within those, in just that region, which means if I was going to be do part writing for this, the lines probably wouldn't cross. I wouldn't be doing many leaps or bounds. It would try to stay within a little bit of notes, at least within around here, because we're floating around these chords, F, E flat, and B flat. So at least in between here. So if I had something like no, what are the words? No matter, no 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. No matter how many will tell if it, others have to believe it's more than you will. D minor. It grows, 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 and grows. Oh, unicorn muffins, unicorn muffins, unicorn muffins, unicorns. Something like that. Let's take a look at the next part. After it goes through the A part, the B part, it goes down again to a D minor. Woo! A little bit of change, but we stay pretty relative. So I'd say this is what, the B part? Yeah. This is going to be the second form after here because it ended. So here, D minor, and then what do we have? D minor back to back with an E flat. Interesting. So 6 to a major 7 to the 1 chord. So 6 to a major 7 to the 1. And I know this is overdoing just a simplified couple chord song. However, I want to see it in form so I can analyze it a little bit later. I'll take a picture of this and go back on this video. That's, for me, what this is all kind of worth. D minor, E flat, F, and then C, so we hit that 5 chord. It looks as if we're going to be going back and doing something really kind of close to that, but we're going to be using the B flat minor, which is very interesting because there really shouldn't be a B flat minor in here. We're actually turning the 4 chord into a minor. But let's see how it sounds, and then we'll go through it. Here comes the D minor, and then, as I just aforementioned, B flat minor, which might feel weird, and then F major to F major. Now, in cases like this, if I didn't want to repeat something, I could just put my little percentile here, but I don't want to throw this off all the time, so I'm going to keep it standard. But yeah, that's definitely how I would do it right now. And let's see here. Does that end that section? It does. So, wow, that was pretty quick. Wonder if that should be repeated. Well, let's take a gander at what it sounds like. Coming out of this section right here, let's just take it from here. 1 and 2 and... D minor, B flat minor. Oh. That was the chord that actually is super, super interesting. So rather than having a 4 chord that is major, we got a 4 minor. 6, 4, and then 1 again. So looking at this through the eyes of a major harmonic progression, if I had these 3, I have no 3s in here, so that doesn't matter. Our 6 chord right here, our 2, and then our 4. What am I doing? Oh, yeah, I can do it. These are 2, and then we would have our 5 functioning along with our diminished and then our 1. So each one of these wants to kind of be all these other ones, and if we keep them going, does this follow the major harmonic progression? 1 chord right here, and then an E flat is a 7 chord. Now outside of here, we could also have our 7, which could work itself right here. That works well as well. I would say that after the E7 here, going to an E flat right there, and then our B flat is a 4. So in line, yeah, we just kind of skip these, which is fine. It just takes us kind of closer to our root rather than using the, these take us closer to the root, the 3 and the 2, rather than the 4, however it feels good. And then the C is resoundingly the 5. So when it goes to the 5 and then goes back to the 1, this actually follows kind of the major harmonic progression, which is good. And then it moves into, let's see here, the A section, same as the first until it gets to the G minor. So we've got a 1 chord going to the E flat, so it goes back here, which I guess is fine. It's kind of close, but generally when you have a 7 chord, especially the major 7th, you want it to go to the 1 for a resolution. You don't want it to deceptively go back. When we go to the G minor, it's the 2 chord. So what we did is went 1 to the major 7, and then went to the 2 chord. Now the 2 chord right here is staying on the 2, but making it a 2 dominant, which is fine. And then it goes to the C, which goes back to the 5. So that also follows. After the 5 here, it does a 6, which means this literally goes outside and goes right back to the 6. That follows good harmonic movements. And then after that, we have the D again. So the D is the 6, right? So if I go over through here, skip this, we would be going right here, right? Seems as if by playing those notes there from the F to the E flat to the G to the G to the C, by going to the D minor. So this thing's doing this whole route. Not bad. The only thing that is funky is here when it does the D minor, E flat major, F to the C. D minor, B minor, F. Ooh, I really like that. You know, I can't lie. I think that sounds a lot like a band that I really liked in the late 2000s. Anywho, that is the beginning of what this song kind of looks like. So I think we've got the melody line kind of tagged out there. The next thing that goes here is going to be another verse. The verse is the same as my A section. So what I want to do here is at the end, I'm just going to put DS coda. DS coda. And then what's happening is we're going to take this all the way back over here. I'm going to put these little guys, and then I'm going to put these down right here. We're going to go all the way back to this and then do this whole thing again, which means we go through this twice. We're going to go through this twice for 2 verses. Go back here for the B section, which is the unicorns. I got to figure out some sort of refrain. There's too many words in this, as I said. Maybe that's for another version of this this check-in, this songwriting portion. So this B, and then after the B, it goes right back to the A. Don't go to the intro, but go to the A. And then after that, it looks as if we have an outro, a C part. Cool. Well, let's write this down here, and I'm just gonna put a little arrow in my mind. Take this C portion, and is it in the same meter, 4/4? It is, but it's a new one, so we're gonna start with our double bar. After that double bar, because we're gonna be going from right here to here, we're gonna be taking the DS to coda, so I'm gonna draw this little coda here, and then we're gonna put it right here above the C section, which means when we go all the way through this, we're gonna come right back here, jump into it. A minor, so that is gonna be what, the third? Ooh wee, we finally used the minor third. Oh cool. So that's probably gonna change a little bit of the tonality here. We have an A minor, that begins to an E flat, so we're using the minor third into the major 7th. Now remember, this is a flat 7. So we have to put that kind of little notation there. Sorry, I forgot to do that earlier. Just giving us a little heads up. When we use the 7th as a diminished, it looks like this. Always was going to have either a diminished, half, full. There's a couple other things you can do to that, but the major 7th, when you go flat nature, E to E flat, signifies that you're using that by there. Cool. And then when we go true, we have our E flat and then our D. Ooh, here comes another one. D minor with a flat 6. So in the key of D minor, we've got flat C, D. So when we play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the signature note that makes this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, when we play with this note, and when we play that with this note, it's our 5. So a flatting the 6 means we always look through the eyes of the key of the relative. So D would have D, C sharp D. What I want to do is still use the minor tonality of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But then I essentially can use these notes in tandem because this is our natural 6 in the key of minor 6, flat 6. So when we're moving it through the chord, we're not looking at it through the eyes of F major. We're looking at it through the eyes of D minor, which relatively to F, it still has that B flat. Okay, and then let's see here. So that would be a what? That's a 6, and this is flat 6, so we can put that there. And what do we have here? D minor goes to a C, a 5 chord. Cool. And then we're not done yet. We're gonna go down here and put another 6. We got our D minor, and then B flat minor again. So we're gonna be using that awkward tonality here of the minor 4th rather than the major 4th, and then it resolves to 2 F chords. Maybe we're gonna want to do, and it does that 4 times. So I'm gonna put this repeats and times 4, and then I'm gonna make this last bar as dark as I possibly can because I want to know that that is the last measure that I'm gonna be playing. So what we've covered here is how to take a song that has certain notes, has a theme, has a melody kinda, and we rearranged a little bit of this to see what chords are not inside the key. When I realized that that's what I did to make this major chord seem a little bit different by using the E flat major, it changed the tonality for me in a couple different sections, which is cool. And then what happens is we added a little extension onto the G here, making it a little bit more bold with the 7th as a dominant. We use that E again, but notice here we use the B flat minor rather than the B flat major, which is the major 4th of the chord. Sorry about that. Still getting used to videoing this stuff. And then we marked it as such, being a major 7. And then again, we use that B flat. This whole thing kind of has an outro feeling. Let's see what that looks like. Maybe I could sing along with this and not mess up those words too much. And if you have your instrument with you at home and you want to play along, go. This one's called Unicorn Muffins. Let's see if we can make some fun out of this madness nonsense. So here we go. Oh, no matter what you do, telling a lie, tell a little fib, others have to believe, it's more likely you'll see. When you tell a fib, it grows. No matter how tempting it may be, when you tell a little fib, others will believe. It's more likely when you tell little fib, it grows, grows, oh, how it grows, whoa, 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 how it grows. No matter how it feels, hearing little fibs, others have to say, what gives? It's more likely you will see when you tell a little fib, it grows, it grows. Who knows? Like unicorn muffins. Dun, 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 Well, I think that's a great basis just to get wrap my head around writing the actual notes out. When I redo this song again, hopefully in a live format, I'm going to write out the treble clef, a little bit of bass clef too, just so I can hear the bass notes, but it's not going to be in the book because the ukulele generally is just written in the treble clef, unless you're playing for the baritone, but still very treble clef. If you have any questions about this and you see this in the future, put in the comments section. I would love to file those out and then get back to you. If you are writing yourself and you have a channel and you would be interested in sharing your music, put that also in the description. I'd love to see it. Other than that, thank you.